Jason Statham returns in the first of what could be many sequels for the 2018 film The Meg. There's like 6 or 7 books in the series that this is adapted from. Let's talk about Meg 2, The Trench. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Meg 2, The Trench. This is featuring Jason Statham and really not many people returning from the original. So there's mostly a whole new cast here for this one, but he's returning to fight off some megalodons and some other creatures in this film as well. Before we launch into the specifics of the movie, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thanks for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews for you to check out on the channel. I try to post something new just about every day for you to enjoy. So please consider subscribing and as well hit that notification bell so you can be alerted of all my new videos. All right, let's talk about Meg 2, The Trench. I was not in full review mode when the first of these movies came out in 2018. I watched movies. I sort of wrote down my grade. I was keeping a log, but I didn't really review a whole lot of movies at that point in time on the channel here. So I did give the original Meg a D+. Not great, but I will give it this. It sort of knew that it was in that campy zone and leaned into it a little bit. So hopefully, right, that trend will continue with the second one. We'll find out here in a second if that's true. But like I said, most of the people from the first movie, like Rainn Wilson and Ruby Rose, not returning for this particular version. Cliff Curtis does return to the cast, but other cast members here include Wu Jing, Paige Kennedy, Sophia Cal, Skylar Samuels, and Sergio Perez Mencheta. And they are, well, not all of them are scientists, but some of them are scientists along with Jason Statham, who are trying to outrun and outswim the megalodons when a mining operation threatens them all before they even get to that point in the movie, which brings me to the biggest issue, I would say, with this movie. There's hardly any Meg action in it. There's an early scene where we see one of Statham's cohorts kind of saying, oh, hey, this one we've been keeping and watching, but I don't mind, swimming in with him. And, he recognizes me and stuff. And so, there's a little bit of a fear factor there at the beginning of the movie. And then there's like a bunch of plot development and characters talking and stuff that I don't think anybody came to this movie to see. And, there's a couple of perilous moments as they go down deeper into the titular trench. And, they run out of air, almost or whatever in a couple different spots. And, there are some people that they lose along the way. Some people die on this mission. So, the stakes are, okay. I wouldn't say they're high, but there's at least certain things going on. But where are the Megs in this movie? This is like that Godzilla movie where Godzilla was barely in it. I use that reference, often when something to me seems like, okay, well, the audience is coming to this movie for this specific thing mainly. Yeah, I guess we care a little bit about the characters. I don't really, but, if you really love that first Meg movie, maybe you're curious to see, oh, okay, what is this dude up to? I saw the movie yesterday and I couldn't even tell you the character's name. It's fairly generic, I think. Let me see here. Jonas Taylor. Very generic. But yeah, what Jonas has been up to, since the first movie. Okay, maybe you're mildly curious, but do we need like a whole hour in the middle of this movie largely devoted to that, and the other part of that hour devoted to just insanely improbable things? And I think we expect some improbability with the Meg, right? Megalodons, and in this movie there's a kraken and, a bunch of different creatures that I think in the real world we don't have to face so much. But it's interesting that, we expect that sort of unprobability and expansion of our beliefs. Okay, we'll sort of check our brains at the door, right, for these more insane moments, campier moments. But in this hour before we get to any megalodon action in the middle of the movie, why are we also really throwing all logic out the window? People that would have been dead 10 times over are still living with us. And that includes, the Statham character and some of the villains as well. Yeah, and some villains die along the way too. But, there's a lot of villains that you'd be like, all right, well, that person would have died, for sure in that explosion or whatever happens. So then we get to the final, maybe 15, 20 minutes of the movie, somewhere in that range. And okay, finally, we've got the megalodons. We go to this place called Fun Island, and we are facing off against, the krakens and the megalodons and other creatures that they've put, in these people's way. And it finally starts delivering on some of that campy fun. Of course, some of the jerks at Fun Island, the old creepy perv hitting on the young girls. He gets eaten, of course. I said spoiler free at the beginning of this, but look, it's Meg 2 The Trench. So I think there's a certain templates that we would expect in a movie like this, and they're hitting all of them. Trust me. I don't think I'm really telling you anything that you probably didn't expect when you heard about this movie. But that's my biggest issue with it is almost nothing happens in the first hour and 25 minutes of this movie. Not nothing. There's a couple of things that happen, but it's not what we come to this movie to see. We want the campy fun. We want the Megs, and they don't really, surface, so to speak, until towards the end of the movie, the far end of the movie. So look, this for me, definitely on the negative end. I would have to rewatch the first movie, which I'm not going to do, to really see if this is kind of better or worse than that. I thought I had graded the first movie a little bit higher, but when I went over my grades, I was like, okay, well, I guess I did not like that one either. I gave that one a D+. And that's where I am on this one, too. When I left the theater, I was thinking D+. So I'm not sure if it's better or worse than the first one. If you love the first one, I think there's a few things maybe here, but I would wait till it hits streaming and then fast forward to the last 20 minutes. So I leave Meg 2 The Trench with that D+. All right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.